All right. Hey, YouTube. We are live. Okay. All right. So I love these live sessions. They're going to be 15 to 20 minutes. And really, they're not for me to teach you anything or do anything, since I already do that every week on Thursday. I already do that every day on Instagram. I'm posting on Instagram every day, twice a day. Y'all check out my stories too, because my stories on Instagram show who I am as a person. And what's super important to me and what I want to make sure people understand is that, especially as a believer, that God created an abundant life for you. And an abundant life means nothing missing, nothing lacking. That means that I'm going to fully enjoy every single thing that I have at my disposal. Everything. I'm going to live life. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to have fun. One of the things that I love more than life itself is music. So you're always going to see me singing and dancing. Like anywhere I'm around, there's going to be music around. So you just have to know that if you know me, their music is going to be present. So I'm recovering from my Friendsgiving this weekend, but I'm also planning for my daughter's first Friendsgiving this weekend, which I'm really excited about. So if you have questions and you're here, definitely put them here. I would love to answer them. Like if you can't afford a coach, this is the time to come and get your questions answered, because I'm not going to give you answers like, okay, pay me for that. No, I'm here to be a blessing. I'm here because I realize that there are a lot of people that may not be able to afford a coach. They may be implementing things that they're trying to get feedback on. And this is the time for that. So this is me sowing my time to do that. But since nobody has questions, and if you do put them in the chat box, I'll get to it. But I wanted to talk to you about a video that I did today. It was my story. It was my reel on YouTube. I mean, on Instagram. So I post a reel every day and I post a post every day. The first thing that I posted today was the reel, and it was about healing. One of the things that, and God, and this is God showing me this. This is not me saying, okay, this is what I want to talk about. And this is God showing me this through my own life. A lot of us grew up poor. And I wouldn't necessarily say I grew up poor. I grew up hood poor, right? So a lot of uncertainty. When I say poor, I've had my lights cut off before. I've lived in a house without power. I've lived in a space where we ate at soup kitchens and food pantries and things. So to me, that just, I wouldn't even say it's poor. I would say it's just uncertainty, right? So when you grow up in uncertainty, you start to try to create certainty in your life because uncertainty is not cool. It doesn't feel good to your nervous system. So you start to try to create those certainties in your life. And when I got into real estate, I just began to look at my life and I realized that all my life, especially as soon as I became an adult and I was able to start working, I was a hustler, meaning I was going to be the one that had a job, a part-time job, and a side hustle, doing hair on the side, baking cakes, charging people. Like I was going to get to the bag. And when I got into real estate, that continued, or I would say initially in the beginning, that mindset was there. But thank God, and I really do think it was God that led me to KW. Thank God that I got the KW. Thank God that I didn't go anywhere else, because when I sat down and they started talking to me about building a life, and I'm like, when are we talking about money? And it did. I think it was probably like 6 months before we even started talking about money. They were just talking about what kind of life do you want? How many vacations do you want to take a year? How many days a week do you want to work? How many hours a day do you want to work? What kid events do you have in your life that you don't want to miss? What are your commitments to God that you want to make sure you do? And we did all of that for months. And then it was like, okay, now how much does that cost? What will it take to fund that? And then now, what does your business need to look like to fund that? But here's what that process taught me. It got me so connected to building a life that became more important to me than the money. And when that became more important to me than the money, I stopped hustling and I started asking, how could I serve people and help them build the life that they want the same way I want to build the life that I want? And that changed something in me that I didn't even know was broken, if I'm being honest, because I'm from up north. People hustle. Like every day is a hustle. Hustle is the name of the game. This is just what we do. So when I started looking at Okay, what are your commitments to God that you don't want to miss? Okay, I like to go to church on Sundays, and I don't go to church out of religious obligation. I go to church because I love my church. I go to church because I love the community there, and I want to be fed weekly and learn how to grow as a believer in the body of Christ, learn how to be a better steward over the gifts that God has given me, over the resources that God has put in my hand. I want to be faithful, and I want to just really live a life that is pleasing to God. So that's why I go to church. So it was one of those things that they said, put your calendar together before you put your business together. And I was like, what? Like, how much money I'm gonna make? Like, let's get to the money. And so we're going through this calendar, and they're like, how many weeks a year do you want to go on vacation? Where do you want to go? So I started plugging all this stuff into my calendar before we even started talking about money. And I just remember thinking, I never really sat down and thought about what I wanted my life to look like. I always thought about how much money I needed to make, and then I thought about what I would do with that money or how I could live with that money. But Keller Williams has this principle. It used to be be, do, have, but now I think they changed it to be, do, achieve. And most people, I want to say it again: be, do, have. Right? Most people live life do, have, be. It's be, do, have. And here's what I mean. Who do I have to become in order to do the things that would position me to have the life that I want? So it's first about becoming. That's a mindset. Real estate has given me the ability to slow down and really work on my mindset, and that's what has been a game changer for me. That's why when I got into real estate, I realized that I was in the biggest personal development space that I ever been in my life, and it has changed my life. I'm not the same person. I don't even look at things the same. I don't even desire money to the degree that I used to. Now when I think about money, I think about how can I serve with it, not how can I spend it on me. But I'm gonna get the things I want. I'm gonna have nice things, but that's not at the forefront of my mind. It's not the first thing. And why am I telling you this? Because we're in a $1 billion industry. We have to be careful not to let our past trauma get us into a space in this industry where we're working for things that when we get them that they don't matter. Because I was able to build a family, I was able to have children, I was able to do the things that really fill my cup up that I never even thought about before I got into real estate. Thank you, Millicent. It says I'm a part-time agent in PA and my systems are all over the place. As a new agent, how can I pick the niche of lead generation I should choose? Okay, good question. And I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you asked that. So I want to make sure correct me. I want to make sure you're asking me what form of lead generation should you choose, right? Because there's plenty. There's cold calling, there's building a database, there's agency, there's door knocking, there's open houses. Yes, okay, perfect. Here's what I'm going to tell you after 11 years in the business. One, make sure you know how to cold call. I don't care whatever lead generation source you choose, even if this is not your primary, you need to pick 2 to 4. Make sure one of them is cold calling. And I'll tell you why. It is hard. It is the hardest thing you're going to do in real estate, but it will prepare you to have thick skin and give you a skill set that you can transfer into other areas. That's one. So, and then when you cold call, get scripts. If you go to my website, the CEO of realestate.com, I have free scripts there you can download. Find you a script partner. Practice those scripts. Become scripted, because when you become scripted, there's a follow through of scripts. You memorize them, then you internalize them, then you customize them, then you capitalize off of them. It is a process. Just like a basketball player dribbles the ball and they get better and better the more they do it, you want to do this over time because it's going to perfect your conversations. The conversations are going to help you learn how to convert real estate in every other arena, because the conversations on the phone are going to be the same conversations in the grocery store, at your school, church, at your business meetings, all the same conversations. Learn how to have conversations that convert. Real estate is nothing more than conversations and relationships. Learn how to have the right conversation, and that means asking the right questions. People only buy houses when life moves them to buy houses. They got a job, they got to upsize, downsize, taking care of a parent, somebody died, they're having a baby, they're getting married. Those are the only reasons, and there are a couple more, divorces, marriage, all that. Those are the only reason people buy houses. The question that you need to ask is to find out when those life events are happening so that when they get ready, ding, 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 you're their obvious choice. So that's one. Secondly, is for me, and I'm gonna tell you this story, and then you'll get what I mean. For me, I believe that you should do what comes natural to you as your primary lead source. Meaning, I am an extrovert. I network very well, but I don't network in traditional networking settings, meaning I'm not going to work a room at a networking event. I don't got time for that. When I say I network, I know everybody. Everybody knows me. I talk to everybody. When I come in a room, it's like, hey, girl, hey, hey, hey. So for me, the way I built my business was through sphere of influence and database because that's native to me. Meaning, when I started real estate, I started in Tampa. I had just moved to Tampa. I didn't know anybody. I joined mom groups, I joined homeschool groups, and I made friends. Okay. When I say I made friends, I talked to everybody. I got everybody's phone number. Everybody went in my database. I knew everybody's birthday. I knew everything that they were doing. I stayed connected to them. There were 14 women in my homeschool group. All 14 of those women bought houses with me, some of them too. So, what do you like to do? Right? And when I say, what do you like to do? What do you do in your spare time? Figure out how to connect with people around that and then put them in your database. And then start to stay connected to them and have the right conversations with them. Because remember, I told you people only buy real estate when life moves them to buy it. So you're going to connect with them. For example, I have a friend that smokes cigars. Girl, I told her, let me give you an example. You should start a blog about cigars. Every week, you start an email list. You send an email every week about the cigar you're smoking, about what you're doing. Have cigar meetups. Get to meet 200 people. 20 of those people over time will buy houses with you, but they're not connecting with you around real estate. They're connecting with you around their love of cigars. I connected with these ladies because we were parents, we were homeschooling. That was the stage of life we were in. That was what I loved. I didn't try to sell them, I got to know them. I think most real estate agents struggle with lead generation because they don't really want to build relationships. Remember, real estate is nothing more than relationships and conversations, knowing what to say and building relationships so that you are the obvious choice when it's time for them to move. Millicent, let me know if that answered your question. Because I think that when you do lead generation that is native to you, it becomes fun and it is not hard. The hard thing that you do need to do, though, however, is cold call. So always have that in there. So you need to call, if you are just getting started, call at least 5 people a day. That'll get your conversation flowing. It'll get you more comfortable. It'll give you time on task over time, and it'll build your infrastructure around conversation. And eventually you will turn around and you'll be good at it. People tell me all the time, you're really good at cold calling. I've been cold calling for 11 years. I should be good at it. I've been doing it for 11 years. If somebody has been throwing a ball for 11 years, you better be dang all right. They're going to be good at it. So verse, hey, it says, and thank you, Prage. Hey, good to see you on. It says, my dream is to be a real estate agent. What advice would you give? And is real estate a good career path? I think real estate is a great career path. The best advice that I would give, and Prage, I recorded my YouTube video for next 2 weeks or something, the 4th today. And one of the things that I talked about in that video is my best advice to any person that's starting out in real estate is think like a CEO, not a realtor. Real estate sales is just a job within a business that you own. You have to remember this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Sales is about 1% of it. Don't get pigeonholed in that. You don't get rich from real estate commission. You get rich from capitalizing off the opportunities that the real estate industry provides. You're going to stay in sales long enough to figure out where your lane is. For example, I was in sales for 8 years before I realized that coaching is my lane. Coaching is going to make me way more money than real estate has ever made me. Although it hasn't at this point, it will, because it is my passion. It is what I do. I have found my niche. And what I am telling you is that's how you're going to start in one area. but pivot into another. But if you don't come into it with the mindset that this is a platform and I am using the platform to grow my business and the businesses that I create, because it's not going to just be real estate. I have a title company, I have a mortgage company, I have other businesses that feed into my real estate business, but none of those businesses speak to me the way coaching does. Right. So now I'm doing something that I'm passionate about. I love helping people grow their business. I love helping people put systems and structure in their business. I love helping people understand that you can come in this industry in 5 years and retire and create systems that build you millions. That's what I love doing. So for me, I have a class on how to start and structure your real estate business. And I'm not trying to pitch this, but I really feel like anybody that is considering a career in real estate or even getting started or even has been in real estate for a long time, you need that class because it's going to help you think about this industry different. The blessing to me was when I came into real estate, I had a coach and he was big dog. And everything that I'm teaching you, he taught me. I didn't know this. He taught me this. I didn't and that's what I'm saying. When I said, "What do I do for lead generation?" He said, "Cold call." I'm like, "Nobody else is cold calling." He said, "Because it's hard. Do it. You'll thank me later." I was like, okay, I just cold call. And then I realized I started developing the confidence to talk to people. I started being able to handle conversations. I started to learn how to handle objections. And that's how I started to close business because I was good at talking to people about real estate, not trying to sell them, but understanding that people only buy houses when they need to. Understanding that my job is to really get to know them so that when they have life needs, that I can be the obvious choice. That's it. I do business organically. Believe it or not, most of my business is built through First Connection. They go on my database and I build relationships. And that's what it is really about. So, yes, Verse, please go back and watch my videos. I feel like, and I started posting YouTube shorts every day. I do a video every week, but also there is a link in all my videos to my email list. Y'all better be on my email list. Prage helps me with my emails. My emails are really good. I get a great response from them, and they give you things that you can actually implement in your business. But more than anything, my job is to help you think differently. The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. I'm not going to be the one to always tell you exactly what to do, but I want you to look at your business objectively and differently because here's the thing. When you look at it like that, God will tell you what to do. And then what he tells you to do is going to blow your mind, my mind. We're going to see something that we have never seen before. I tell people, don't try to come in your business and build your business like me. No, you get with God and let God show you how to blow your mind. But I don't want you to think like a realtor. You're not a realtor. You're a business owner. When you start a real estate business, you are a company. And I believe by faith, you are a Fortune 500 company and you need to run your business like that. And you will have a sales department and you will be the person that sells real estate until you build that sales team. But over time, the goal is to get you out of the business. That's why I came to KW because they had what was called a 7th level team. And that was you outside of the business and the business functioning without you. I said, sign me up. I want that kind of business. I don't want to be I don't want to be 50, 60 years old still selling real estate. Absolutely not. I will sell to my friends and family and people that I know, but strangers, just people I don't know and chasing bit. I don't want to live like that. Not when there's so many other things that we can do. So Millicent said, "Yes, I need to find what's comfortable and work, and I'll work on cold calling." Good. How do you feel? Expireds are great. They're already listed. They already need to move, or they already have proven that they want to make a move. They've already proven that they will pay. The only difference between you getting them to sign is your ability to have the right conversations. Now, can you see why conversations are money? We have script practice every Tuesday on our team. Why? We're practicing what to say. No ball player will go to a championship game without practicing. Why do we feel like we just gonna talk to people without no practice? I never understood that. So, Verse, this makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Go check out the videos. I appreciate you guys being here. Do you find KW systems create good CMA systems? I think CMAs are more from your MLS. And I think that you should take training from your MLS to learn how to do that because you're doing it with an MLS product. Hi, Tizette, could you please pin the link in the comments so people can check it out? Pin what link, Prage? Let me know. The link to the newsletter. And thank you. Switching from agent to CEO was hard to learn, but I'm gradually getting the full concept. And guess what? the more you stick with it, the more you'll get it. See, we have to understand that learning is repetition. It's not what you hear once, it's what you hear over and over and over again. Do you think Michael Jordan became great by playing basketball once? That boy played through middle school, he played through high school, he played through college, he played through the NBA. You get great by time on task over time. So don't challenge yourself because you don't think like a CEO. Start to get around CEOs. And when I say CEOs, not just real estate CEOs, look at CEOs of other companies. Most of what I learned about business is not from real estate business because all laws are microcosms of each other. If the same way that sales works at Mary Kay is the same way sales works in real estate. So I can learn something from a Mary Kay rep. I can learn something from a Amway rep. I can learn something from a anybody that's selling anything. Why? Because all laws are microcosms of each other. All right. It's 6:20. I got to go because my kid got to go to church tonight. But I love these live. Bring your questions. Millicent, I appreciate your questions. Bring your questions. I will answer them. And the person that asked about the MLS, listen to what I'm saying. Keller Williams will give you classes on MLS. Any brokerage will. But hear what I'm saying because I want to make sure I'm very clear about this. The MLS CMAs, you're getting data from the MLS. Go to the source to learn how to do it the best. And then take the other training and then compare them and create your own middle ground, right? So just make sure you go to the source because a lot of people come to me as a coach at KW like, how do you search for properties? Sir, go to the MLS. They're going to tell you how to search for properties. It's their product. You want me to tell you how to use their product? The best people to tell you how to use their product is them, not me. So go to the MLS. MLS has trainings. I think they're the most underrated training source that people never tap into. It's a product. Learn how to use it. That's like having a car but never reading the owner's manual, but asking your husband how to do something. It's cool, but if you want to know how to use it, go to the manufacturer. All right, guys. I'll see you up here next Thursday and next Tuesday. I'm sorry. And I appreciate you guys. Videos drop every Thursday. I do the Bible studies now on YouTube live at 8:30. And Prague, I will pin the link. I'm gonna head out, but I'll go back and do the thumbnail and the link tonight. All right, guys. I appreciate you. See you later.